Hello. I wonder if I've ever started a live without saying hello like that. It just happens. But so yeah, I this has been coming up in conversation a lot. The subject of like harmony or finding balance, finding balance in motherhood. It's come up in conversation with just like people, my friends and family, and it's come up in other conversations I've had with clients, and it just keeps coming up. So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about balance and motherhood. Because I've always heard, I'm just trying to find balance. And this isn't like specific to motherhood, but like work life balance. I'm just trying to find balance in motherhood. There's so many things competing in my life for my attention, and I don't know how to find balance within all of that. And one thing it's so what I want to talk about is like a perspective shift. So instead of striving for balance, you instead strive for harmony. And the reason why you want to do that is because balance, like you're trying to balance two things and have them be equal. And that's just not how life works. That's not reality for, you know, all of the things. You can't have every single thing in your life be balanced and have equal weight and take up equal amounts of your time, and take up equal amounts of energy. Like there's just not enough of you to go around in that way, to put all of the same amount of energy like into your work and into your motherhood and into your relationship with your husband if you have one, or if you're dating. You can't possibly put equal energy into all of those things. So that's why I say instead strive for harmony. So harmony, that they're each going to they're going to have their own different parts that come into it. So I'm not a musician, so it's kind of challenging a bit for me to talk about harmony in that way. But when I think of harmony, it's the everyone coming together and they're all singing different notes, and then it makes this beautiful sound. It's in harmony. It makes a beautiful sound. So what you're trying to do for your life is making a beautiful sound out of all the different parts of your life. So let me know if you have any questions about what I just said, because I'm still new to talking about this, but it just keeps coming up. So I wanted to come on and talk about it because I know every mom is always looking for balance, and looking for balance like stresses them out. I've heard moms talk about they feel like all of their pots are on one burner, and it creates chaos. I've heard another mom talk about how she feels like there's just one shelf and everything is on the shelf, and it's like tipping over and everything's about to just slide off, and again, chaos. And it is chaotic when you are putting everything in the same priority. Everything in your life cannot have top priority. It just can't. You have to learn to use discernment. And it's also going to change depending on the season, depending on like the season of your life, depending on, the day, even depending on the time of day. So it's also, I guess, just being okay with that, learning to be okay with that, learning to be okay with being unbalanced. And I just also remembered, I think it was when I was doing my yoga teacher training, I'm pretty sure. My teacher was talking about, was that her? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But she was talking about how when you put your weight like onto one foot and you're trying to find balance, you're still, even when you're standing on 2 feet, you're still going to be a little bit unbalanced. It wavers, and you have to learn to be okay with that wavering, with the wobble. And like I was saying, it's going to change, moment by moment sometimes. Sometimes it's a day-to-day thing, sometimes it's a week-to-week thing, just depending on what's going on in your life. But finding that harmony where everything has its own level and it's okay that it has its own level. That's the real message here, is being okay with everything having its own spot in your list of priorities, because it's when you put everything in the same on the same level, when you have all your pots on the same burner, that's when you are going to burn out. That's when you are going to burn out. It's not funny. I'm just a giggly person. But the other message here, because every mom who comes to me about like, I just want to find balance in my life. I feel like things are so unbalanced and I don't know what to do about it. Every mom who has said that to me isn't taking that time, any time or very little time, for rest and for reflection and integration. So integration of the lessons that you're learning in life, because you're always learning. But every mom who has come to talk to me about that is not taking that time for themselves. So when you are looking at your life and looking at the different priorities that you have, you need to be on there too. There's that saying that you got to put your oxygen mask on first before you help out your kids, or before, you help out anyone else with theirs. And I see that said a lot in regards to motherhood. And it's said a lot because it's true. And even though I know that it's true, oftentimes you put yourself, the only thing that gets put on that back burner is you. So my hope for you is that after you listen to this, you'll take some time to reflect about your priorities and about how you have structured your life. Because really, this is just a restructuring of your time and of your energy, because those are the most valuable resources that you have, not just as a mother, but just as a person. Those are the most valuable resources that you have. So taking some time to reflect on that and seeing how you can restructure your life, instead of looking for balance, looking for harmony, looking for each parts of your life to be working together and creating something beautiful. What can you realistically spend your time and energy on? Thank you for the heart. I don't see anyone here, so I appreciate it. But yeah, taking the time to think about what you want to be spending your time on, how much time you're going to spend on that, how much energy, when do you have the energy to spend your time on that? Those questions are important. And I know so often the first thought will come up is like, well, everything's important. Okay, yes, and it's still getting to the point where you're putting your priorities in order is really what this is all about. So yeah, I just want to reiterate, giving yourself time for rest and reflection and integration. So that has to come into your your reflection on this live and on your life, putting you up there too. I mean, really, you should be up top. Ideally, you should be up top so that you can trickle down into the other areas of your life. So if you have any questions, comments, feel free to drop them below. So yeah, if you have any questions, drop them below. I'll see them later and I will respond. If you want to know how to apply this to your life, if you're still stuck in that thought of like, yes, but everything's important and I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to prioritize, because it is a skill. I don't know how to prioritize. I don't know how to take that time for rest and reflection and integration. I don't know how to do this. Help me. I will help you. Schedule a clarity and connection call with me, and I'm going to give you your first actionable step. And we can talk about what that would look like to work together moving forward if you decide it's a good fit after, spending a little bit of time with me. Okay, so I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to head off to the library with the kiddos. We haven't been in a while and we need to switch out some books. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.